welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, my name is Esperanza. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I moved here a few months ago, but I am originally from the Pacific Northwest. So in today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I actually am going to be making some DIY boho Christmas ornaments. So my interior style is kind of a mix between boho and mid-century modern, but it's really hard to find Christmas decorations that go with that theme because, you know, like Christmas decorations are usually very traditional and everything, and I just feel like they kind of clash, at least in my opinion, with my decor style. And it's really hard to find boho style ornaments, so I wanted to just make my own this year. So I'm going to be making 2 Christmas ornaments, 1 clay ornament and then 1 wood bead ornament. So I will basically show you guys how to make these ornaments, and then I'll show you what they look like when they're done, and then lastly what they look like on the tree. So let's go ahead and get started with the DIYs. I made a little trip to Michael's this morning to pick up some of the materials that I needed for these ornaments. I picked up this air hardening clay with a terracotta color for the clay ornaments I'm gonna make. And then I picked up these wood beads for the bead ornaments. This size is slightly smaller than that size. These were on clearance. And I picked up Scotch tape so that I can color, block, paint the wood beads, and then string so I can string the ornaments. And I actually already had paint that I picked up from Home Depot. I got these 2 samples for free. They are clay colored for this DIY that I did the other day where I painted some old pots to look like terracotta pots. And then I also have this painting tin and this paintbrush. Got those for $3 at Home Depot, and then an old can of white paint that I already had. I'm gonna start with the clay ornaments first, and I forgot to mention that I'm actually gonna use these nail polish colors and paint them onto the ornaments. So they're gonna kind of be like boho rainbows. So you guys will see throughout this process how they're gonna turn out. For this DIY, you will start out by rolling out your clay with a rolling pin. I didn't have one, so I ended up using a full tin can instead, which was heavy enough to roll out the clay to about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch thick. Next, you'll use a cookie cutter to cut out your clay. I didn't have one, so I used an empty tin can to basically cut out a circle shape from my clay. Then I used the back of a knife to cut the circle in half, and I used an Allen wrench to make a hole at the top of each half so that I had somewhere to string the ornaments from. Then I used my knife to scoop out a chunk from the bottom of the half to make the arch of the rainbow. Then I set the pieces aside and let them dry for a few hours. Then I picked out 3 different nail polish colors and painted them in an arch onto the clay pieces. You can always make your pieces bigger if you had like a bigger cookie cutter, and then from there you could make more colors on the rainbow. I really only had room for 3, and I'm not the best painter, so they did come out a little bit messy, but I feel like that adds to the boho character and makes them feel like more homey and handmade. So in this case, it worked. The last step is to string the ornaments. I picked out a thin natural tone twine for a boho vibe, strung that right through the hole at the top of the piece, and tied a simple knot to hang it from the tree with. I ended up finishing all of these last night, and I made quite a few more of the circle ones, which are still drying. And then I also ended up making these like triangular ones by basically cutting so I used like a circle, cut that in half, and then cut it in half again, and that's how I got the triangle ones. So those are all painted and just have to finish with the circle ones. I'm gonna go ahead and set that aside and get started on my second DIY ornament with the wood beads. So for this DIY, I have 2 different sized beads. And then I have 2 paint colors here. This one's like a terracotta color. That one's a little bit of a deeper, like rusty color. Then I have an old can of white paint, a painting tin, paintbrush, Scotch tape so that I can do like some color blocking. And then I have this twine here for hanging the ornaments. And I'm setting up over here. I've got these Trader Joe bags so that I don't get any paint on my table. Start by taping off your bead. I did mine in a diagonal. Then I used a cheap paintbrush to paint on my rust color. I actually ended up just dipping the bead into the paint after a while. While the bigger beads were drying, I started the process over with the smaller beads, which I painted a white color onto. After the beads were done drying, which was about a half an hour to an hour, I started to string the beads with my twine. The wood beads had pretty large holes, so in order to make sure that my beads wouldn't fall through, I used 2 pieces of string and tied those in a simple knot at the bottom with a little tail, and started off with my large bead first. Then I took my white bead and strung it through the 2 pieces of string and basically just let it sit on top of the larger bead and tied a simple knot at the top to hang it with. I had a ton of extra twine, so I ended up making one more DIY, which was a boho tassel, and all I needed was the twine and a pair of scissors. I made 12 pieces of string and cut those evenly and cut off 2 extra pieces as well. You can make these whatever length you want. I just kind of decided on like a medium length. Then I took the 12 string bunch, folded it in half, and tied one of my extra 2 pieces around it in a simple knot, and I used the other extra piece to basically make a little bundle. And then lastly, I took my pair of scissors and trimmed off the excess, especially at the bottom, just to make it even. Okay, so here is my complete Christmas tree. Here are the little rainbow clay ornaments. They turned out super cute. I also made these little triangular ones, and there's also a circular one somewhere right here. Little circle clay ornaments. Here's how the tassel ornament turned out, and the bead ornaments. And I love how everything ties in together and looks very bohemian. Okay guys, so that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I don't usually do a ton of DIYs, but every once in a while I do like to take a DIY on. I kind of enjoy just that creativity that comes with that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I will see you guys in my next video, which is actually going to be a Christmas decorate with me. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!